When we exercise the lower body to build strength, squats, deadlifts, lunges, all the big things, we want to make sure that our knees stay in a good alignment with our hips and our feet. We want to make sure that we're using the muscles in our feet for good support. And we definitely want to make sure that we're using our glutes to engage, keep things in alignment, and generate power. And there's one technique that we can use that checks all of those boxes and it helps us accomplish all of those things. That technique is called rooting. So rooting is kind of like corkscrewing your feet into the ground like you're generating roots into the floor. I like to practice with bare feet when you're starting out, just because it gives you a better sense for the ground. And when we're doing any of the lower body strengthening that we'll be doing, you want to use rooting. So to start out, you want to feel like you have a even weight distribution between the medial ball of your foot, the lateral ball of your foot, and your heel. We call that the tripod. You want to feel like you're in a tripod stance. So if you feel your feet, you can even shut your eyes. Feel that those three spots have weight evenly distributed between the three of them, okay? You're in a tripod stance. Now, here's where the rooting takes place. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna spin our hips a little bit laterally. Now, they're only gonna go so far because your ligaments and your anatomy gets in the way. They're not just gonna twist indefinitely, but you're gonna just rotate a little bit, okay? You're gonna see your knees go out just a little bit to the sides, and then you're gonna feel the arches of your feet come up, and you also feel the muscles on the sides of your hips and butt turn on. That's your glutes turning on, okay? So if I look down at my thigh, it's like my thigh bone is rotating clockwise. My left thigh bone is rotating counterclockwise. And another way to think of it is if I had a large piece of paper on the floor and I was using my feet to try to tear the paper like this, but the paper's too strong and my feet won't go anywhere. That's what's happening down here. So it's like I'm trying to go like this to tear the paper, but the friction of the floor is too strong, so my feet just stay put, okay? So that action of that rotation from both sides is rooting. What you want to do is essentially feel that tripod stance and then just create that little corkscrew. When you do that, make sure that now that you've rotated, the weight is still in a tripod, because a lot of times when you do that, the weight wants to go out to the sides of your feet. So you just rotate in, we call that rooting, then check and make sure you're still in that tripod weight distribution, the ball of your foot is still down, and then relax. And that's one cycle of practicing rooting. So again, feel the tripod weight distribution, root, check that you're still in the tripod weight, and then relax. That's another rep. Tripod weight, root, check your tripod, good, relax. That's a third repetition of practice. Now when we go to squat and do other things, we're going to root before we go down, before we go into the exercise, and then we're going to perform the entire exercise and keep rooting throughout that exercise. So if this was a squat, I would start in a tripod stance, I'd root, I would do my whole squat, keeping that torque going the entire time down and the entire time up, and finishing. And we're just gonna keep that root activated throughout the exercise.